people, it's me, Anja. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new Recent Reads video. So, the first book on this list is called All the Worst Ideas, written by Vicky, I'm pretty sure. This is a YA contemporary and it follows two teens who must work together. Two teens who have nothing in common work together at a record store. I enjoyed this book. It was solid. It was good. I like the character development. There's a trigger warning for alcoholism, which I should have mentioned at the beginning of this review, like the very beginning and not right now. But anyway, this book was solid. It's very underhyped, and I definitely understand why it's underhyped, because like I only gave it 3.5 stars, so I wouldn't say that this book is like absolutely amazing or groundbreaking or anything like that, but it deserves a little bit more hype. You know, like it doesn't deserve like the 5-star hype that other books get, but it deserves a little bit more hype. You know what I'm saying? So basically, you should read this book because it was good. And yeah. The next book on this list is called You Should See Me in a Clown, written by Leah Johnson. This is another YA contemporary, and you've probably heard of it because the protagonist is sapphic, and there's a sapphic romance in it, and she's also black, which we love that POC LGBT representation. Anyway, I enjoyed this book. It follows Liz, who's like, she wants to run for prom queen in order to get a scholarship to go to college. But there's another girl who Liz may or may not have a crush on, who's also running for prom queen as well. So there's a bit of like a competition there, you know? So basically, I'm gonna get right to it. I didn't love this book. I liked it. I felt like the romance happened too fast. None of the characters to me had much development, so I wasn't really emotionally connected to any of them. And I wasn't really that emotionally connected to Liz either. Like I cared more about what was happening to her than herself, if that makes any sense. And since this book is so popular on the Bookshornet, I kind of knew like where the romance was headed before I had even started it. So there's that. Also, the characters felt younger to me than older. Like I think since Liz is like doing this scholarship thingy to go to university, she's supposed to be like 17, maybe even 18. I think she's 17. Anyway, it felt like I was reading about a 14-year-old and not a 17-year-old. But I don't know why in particular. But anyway, she just felt younger to me, and that's why I ended up rating this book 3 stars, and that's why I think that ultimately this book is not really worth its hype. So yeah, I didn't really ship the romance because like I said, it happened way too quickly. And yeah, so that was that. The next book is called The State of Us, written by Shaun and Hutchinson. This is another YA contemporary, and it follows 2 boys whose parents are running for president on opposing sides and how like the relationship blossoms. I really enjoyed this book because I loved their romantic development and how the relationship blossomed. It was just so cute and so lovely. I read some critiques though on Goodreads after I rated it that some people were kind of saying that this book is a little bit unrealistic just because of the politics thrown into it. But like I didn't really pay attention to the politics because the politics were like kind of like the B plot and the romance was the A plot, and the A plot was done so well, and I really enjoyed it. The politics I wasn't really too interested in just because like I don't want to say that I'm not a political person, because obviously I do pay attention to politics because obviously like it affects me, you know, as a minority and everything. But in this story, I was just more interested in the romance than, you know, the politics. Anyway, I really enjoyed this book and I ended up giving it 4 stars because it was just so lovely and so fluffy, and I just really enjoyed it. So the next book on this list is called The Sound of Stars, written by Alechia Dow. I mentioned this book in my last reading vlog when I read it, so this is like the full, in-depth, more detailed review. So like I said in the reading vlog, this is a YA science fiction, and I ended up rating it like 3.5 stars. It follows a girl who risks her life by reading books and has this forbidden library sort of thing. It's really cool. And this alien who likes forbidden pop music, and how the two of them work together to save humanity. So that's the premise. This book was good. It was solid. I wish that the setting had been a little bit more developed, and I wasn't really sold on the romance. Like, it felt kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type of romance, or like Wonder Woman. I feel like Wonder Woman is a little bit more of an accurate like analogy to the romance, especially given like the 1984 trailer thing. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that these two people knew each other for like 10 days, and you're telling me that they're in love? Excuse me? Not to doubt like the character's like demisexuality, because like I mentioned in the leading vlog, she's demi-ace, which is really cool. We stand diversity, and that's another thing. I really like the diversity of our main character, and I enjoyed the action-packed plot. That was great, but the romance was just not my thing. It just happened way too fast. They knew each other for such a short amount of time, and you're telling me that they're in love? I don't believe it. I do not believe it. And and like I said, I'm not trying to say that like I doubt the fact that she is demi-ace. They knew each other for less than 10 days. I just don't believe it. So anyway, also the ending felt abrupt, and I feel like this review is like all over the place. But basically, there's that. I rated it 3 stars. Next book on this list is called Tune It Out, written by Jamie Sumner. This is a middle grade contemporary, and it follows a girl who has SPD, aka sensory processing disorder, and she must find her own voice after her world turns upside down. I really enjoyed this book. Lou, the main character, is a very realistic and somewhat relatable character. I really loved the SPD representation. That's the reason why I picked up this book. I think that it's really important to have disability representation, especially in middle grade, because you should teach people while they're young that disabilities exist, and they can exist in so many different forms, and you wouldn't have any idea unless you explicitly ask somebody. It's kind of like sexuality in a way. Like, you shouldn't assume that somebody is able-bodied just because they look able-bodied, because there's no it's not like a one-size-fits-all type of dealio. Like, you have to explicitly ask people. I know for some people, like me, it can be a little bit more like obvious, but for some people it's just not. So anyway, I'm digressing. This book was really good. I really enjoyed it, and aside from the disability rep, it was also a really good, solid, lovely story. The friendships in this book were lovely and wonderful, and that is why I would recommend this book. The last book on this list is called Squished Scratch, written by Lindsay, Currie. This is a middle grade paranormal contemporary, and it follows Claire, who has no interest in the paranormal until she starts to be haunted and must figure out why. I enjoyed this book. I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed the action-packed plot because I never knew what was going to happen next. Paranormal stuff isn't really something that's super interesting to me, because I don't believe in ghosts and stuff. So considering the fact that I was intrigued in this plot says something. But other than the plot, nothing about the rest of the story was super intriguing, because the rest of it just felt predictable, but the plot was solid, the setting solid, the characters pretty forgettable. I really only remember the main character's name, but the rest of them don't remember who they are or what they did, but sometimes it just be like that. So anyway, there's that. So it started to sprinkle a little bit, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. But anyway, the highest rating book in this list was definitely The State of Us, and the lowest rating books were Squished Scratch and You Should See Me in a Clown. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below why you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!